Indigo Sky, aka Trickle Rankin. About to listen to this little law and crime update on the. So we're gonna hit this and we're gonna see what's happening, y'all. So hold on, y'all. Let me.
He's collaborated with the likes of Kevin Gates and Boozy Badass. His songs climbing the charts of Billboard, and by all accounts, his career was only going up.
Hold on, y'all. All right, we're gonna start it from the top.
He collaborated. His songs were climbing the charts of Billboard, and by all accounts, his career was only going up. Then he was gunned down in broad daylight on a. Now, the shooting was nearly 5. A shocking announcement. They've arrested another Dallas rapper in connection to the case, accusing him of setting up the murder. But the question still.
So this what I don't understand. The people who actually unalive Mo 3, they said like the story started off as Mo 3 basically was supposed to be messing with one of the dudes who's locked up right now. Him uh, was messing with his child's mother. So I'm trying to figure out how they're trying to bring Yella Beezy in it. You know what I'm saying? Like if those two already were locked up and they finished with the case, how does Yella Beezy come into it like, down the road like this?
Remains as to why. For this case, we have to go back to November 11th of that year to be exact. Melvin Noble was heading on Interstate 5 Texas, a road I myself have taken plenty of times. This was just before noon. Are traveling along that highway. Then suddenly someone approaches Melvin's car. Now, before I get more into it, you might not know Melvin Noble by that name. You might know him better as Mo 3. So someone approaches Mo 3's car, but not just anyone, a masked gunman. According to police, Mo got out of his car and ran. Then he was hit by several bullets. Now remember, this is a busy highway that for the most part is locked in, and no way really to escape. Mo died from his injuries, and a bystander inside another car was hit. To get out of your head. I mean, it's an ambush style attack on a highway, a bystander is hit. It's a lot, right? So the next question that had to be answered, who did it? Well, that answer came a month later.
So a month later, he did this.
When homicide detectives arrested a 22-year-old believed to be responsible for Mo 3's murder, and that person was Ron White. He actually was taken into federal custody for possessing a firearm by a convicted.
And to this day, Ron White, he basically says that he had nothing to do with it. He in jail still saying the same thing.
Felon, but also charged with murder. Kiwan ended up pleading guilty on the gun charge and is currently serving a 9-year sentence. That murder charge is still open. But the story doesn't end there. When Kiwan was arrested, another Dallas rapper, Marquise Conway, better known as Yella Beezy, with one another right before Mo 3's death. But at the time, Yella wasn't accused or even criminally charged in connection to his murder. Then another arrest was made 5 months after the shooting. Devin reportedly contacted a witness more trying to find where Mo. Numerous calls between Devin and Kiwan on the. But Kiwan reportedly denied he even knew Devin. In April 2021, 2 people are arrested for Mo 3's murder. And as you likely guessed it, the story still doesn't end there. Nearly 4 years after Devin's arrest, Yella Beezy and Mo 3 had beef before Mo was killed. Well, according to police, he set up the whole murder, even allegedly to carry out the ambush attack. Police are keeping pretty tight-lipped on the full extent of Yella.
So if they're able to connect him to payments for the actual, yes, we'll say he had something to do with it, and he need to be what Big you say. Damn, I'm trying to figure out how they're gonna make this timeline work out because it's just.
They were back and forth. A controversy had been going on for some time, so this wasn't something that we surprised about. all up and coming, could have gotten to a great point in their music career, into their rap career.
Definitely. Just from me, just I do music and stuff like that. Y'all can see the keyboard right there, but man, Mo3, bro, was a generational talent. Like as far as he could rap, but singing, man, that man was cold. He was cold with the vocals.
Then something like this where it feels like you can't really leave the streets behind. Something like this happens and now you have one person dead and another accused of murder for hire. With that being said, what was your reaction to Yella Beezy's arrest last week?
I mean, you said that so well. Just this is just something that can halt a person's career substantially. So one person being killed, dying, and another person being charged with this capital murder case. Capital murder is the
Here in the South, they say like when like in instances like this, they say one go to jail, one go to hell. But in this instance, and I'm not gonna say Mo3 went to hell. I can't say that. But that's just the saying they have down south. That's just a saying, y'all. I didn't say the man went to hell now.
go for.
Please.
The person faces life and facing pretty much the top consequences that our state has to offer in something like this. So this is a very, very serious offense, and so it's a sad situation for both parties.
Absolutely. And why do you think, Yella Beezy wasn't arrested until this year? Mo3 was shot and killed back in 2020. Their feud seemingly widely known, kind of going on even before that. Then they arrested the trigger person just a month later. But why Yella Beezy's arrest nearly 5 years after Mo3 was shot and killed?
So the thing is that on murder cases, there is no statute of limitations. Has the opportunity for thorough investigation. And I actually prefer that they do that. Do all of the research that you possibly can, interview everyone that you possibly can, and that way you make sure that you bring forth the case against the right person. And so it's not unlikely, it's very common actually for cases to be brought years later on cases that don't have a statute of limitations. Other cases, other felony cases may have a 5 year or 10 year statute of limitations, but some don't have one at all. And in that situation, it's not unlikely for that person to be arrested and a case to be brought against them at a later point.
So hold on.
Just a month later, but why?
I gotta hear that one more time because I think she just explained what I was saying.
Mo3 was shot and killed.
So the thing is that on murder cases, there is no statute of limitations.
Hold on. Go back one more time. Go back.
Here, Mo3 was shot and killed back in 2020. Their feud seemingly widely known, kind of going on even before that. Then they arrested the just a month later. But why Yella Beezy's arrest nearly 5 years after Mo3 was shot and killed?
So the thing is that on murder cases, there is no statute of limitations. And so the police department has the opportunity to do a thorough investigation. And actually research that you possibly can, interview everyone that you possibly can, and that way you make sure that you bring forth the case against the right person. And so it's not unlikely, it's actually for cases to be brought years later on cases that don't have a statute of limitations. Other cases may have a 5 year or 10.
So in the
and they talk on podcasts and they talk on video, not necessarily admitting, hey, I done it, hey, I did this, but
people keep telling y'all this, bro. I keep telling you, saying this shit over and over and over again. On the one might be like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm on the internet, but they don't see everything I'm doing. Like, I mean,
it kind of investigators can later use down the line action to just people being in a way open, but also closed. But you can kind of read between the lines and watching these types of things happen, and they're probably going to use this as evidence against that person. But what's your reaction, especially in a case like this?
You're 110% correct. Also, police officers and prosecutors have used song lyrics or made podcasts.
That's another thing. So Jay Z and them, they were trying to get uh, what they say on lyrics and stuff like that. Because I mean, if you got a story, or even if you just lying on the track saying some stuff, you got a song. What's that? Rap like I just rap this shit. Come on, bro.
Statements different platforms in a trial setting. They've used that in the investigation, but even further down in the trial. And so everything that you say on a public platform can be used against you. It can be used in your case. And so I think that's something that people have to take into account. But once you release it out on a public platform,
Yeah,
it's just like if you try to throw something in the trash, right? You throw it out, but that still can be used in
against
your
you.
case, used against you. You
Mhm.
thought that you may have to throw it out and it was used years ago.
That's why I kept talking about Big U when Big U got locked up the other day. Well, when he was about to turn himself in, he went on camera talking, bro. He should have just been quiet and turned himself in. This man ain't had to say a damn word, bro. He could have did like Wack 100 was right when he was talking to academics on the Fifth Amendment thing. He was 100% right. Everybody got that Fifth Amendment right. Bruh, bruh, you went on camera telling everything that they was talking about, but the murder. You talking about all this stuff, but the murder. You crazy, dog. Like that make you look even worse.
And then somebody comes back, recovers that now, and that can still be used against you. So it's just something for everyone to be mindful of things that they put out, and to be mindful of that it can come back.
Especially if it's years ago. People think that, oh, it's just lost, in whatever digital land maybe, but no, it's still there. It's still on the internet. People can still pull it up. Investigators can still use it against you. And it feels like we might see that. I would assume that the defense attorney is going to hope to get the disc records out, the disc songs out, and just kind of everything that might kind of paint that picture of a. But in your opinion, what will the defense be in a case like this, especially if it goes to trial?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest point. Like, if it goes to trial of this, or where he's being arrested, I know people say, "Well, it's been 5 years. How is it still the beginning phase?" It is the beginning phase because the arrest just occurred. So the arrest occurred,
Yeah, it
and
is.
then now there is what we call just pre-litigation negotiations, exchange of discovery, things of that nature. And then as that moves on, then he can decide or not if he wants to set it for a trial setting, depending upon what the offer is to him and based that supports. Now, it's like this again, capital murder, unless there were or to a lesser included offense, I foresee it going to trial. And
Damn.
so,
She said he going. She said he is going. And I don't even know if Yella Beezy even got a bond. I don't know that part. I don't know if he got a bond.
trial case for
But
him.
I mean, Texas, their laws is kind of tough, so he probably
I expect to see that or some type
capital murder. Like he could get that. He actually could get the death penalty. They could actually kill him for this.
of financial gain. So the state would have to prove that he was the person that was behind this, orchestrating everything, and that he had something to gain from it. He was, in fact, gaining a financial attribute from it. And so that's really, I think, where the defense counsel will target. How are they able to prove that he was able to gain from this, in fact, orchestrating this all along? And so where I would see the defense counsel really building the strategy, because that would be the most difficult.
Do you think it would be wise for him being Yella Beezy, to get on the stand and testify in his own defense?
At this time, I'm going to say that I don't know.
KB goes live. This one right here. This they said grab shit. I'll probably be back a little later on piece of one. Later on piece of one.
All right.